First of all, I'm Fiorella Perini. I'm second generation of this company called Macarone, which was founded in Guatemala City in 1977 by my father. My father was Paul Louis Perini. He was born in New Jersey, in the United States, and he drove a car for a friend. And he drove through Mexico until he came to Guatemala and to meet his friends. And he fell in love with the country. He fell in love with the culture. And he wanted to be able to share this Italian, because he was from Italian and Polish heritage. And he grew up with Italian traditions, Italian food. And so he wanted to share the Italian traditions and obviously pizza and pasta with the Guatemalan families, especially the lower income families that did not have access or did not know what pizza was at that moment. The only pizza that was available in Guatemala in the 70s was Pizza Hut. And it was only sold obviously as an entire pizza, and it was more expensive. So he thought it was a good idea to make accessible, pizza and pasta accessible for the Guatemalans. So it was a fast food concept, popular concept, and it started by selling pizza by the slice, which was a whole thing, like different thing by the time. The Guatemalan currency is called the quetzal, and by then it was 1 quetzal. And so it was very, very affordable for the people. And when they started selling pizza by the slice, people would come up and ask, like, what's that? What are you selling? Is that a tortilla with ham and cheese? That was like how new it was for the Guatemalans at that time to know like what was pizza and pasta. So it started like that. Started on selling on the streets and on fairs, national fairs, and big events. The first one was the first unit. The first restaurant was in Zone 1 of the Guatemala City. That's the capital. And Sexta Avenida, it's called like 6th Avenue, was the most important avenue at the time. A lot of restaurants and brands started there, and that was the first restaurant. It was open in, like I said, in 1977. But it also started growing like with little kiosks on the streets and fairs and events, and it started then growing to malls, and so that's how it all started, with the same concept, and until now we still have the same vision. Very affordable, good food, good quality, big portions, but very affordable for the Guatemalans. And our pizza has become like the favorite of the Guatemalans because it's made for the taste, the ingredients, everything is specially for the Guatemalans. So it's not like if you compare it to an Italian pizza or a New York pizza, is different, like the dough and the ingredients, but people like it. It was like made. It was made here, and it has expanded and grown to all Guatemala City and the country.
And when did you start the expansion in franchising?
Okay, first of all, I have to say that that something that has made it special also is that since the beginning we make all the production of our products. Like we make the pasta from scratch, we make the pizza dough, we make all of our bakery bread, and we use fresh products from the Guatemalan countryside and get the best ingredients, and we make everything from scratch in our production plant, and that has been since the beginning, and that has made us also different from other American franchises or international brands, that we make everything here, and it's fresh and is good quality, but we still make it affordable for people. So that's something very important. So throughout the years, my dad died in like very early in the history of the company, and he had his, other family members that took over. I was very small at the time, obviously, so until I grew up, then I was able to get involved in the company. And in the 2000, we had a lot of people asking, like, if we could be able to open up the brand somewhere else and outside the country, the capital, the city. And we started looking at a franchise as an option to grow, as a part of a growth strategy, right? And so we started with Frankcorp, with Jose Fernandez, with Frankcorp Central America. We started developing our franchise program, and it was in early 2000s that we started growing and we gave up the franchise, and now we have 40 franchises, 40 units, and we still are growing our corporate and own units. So that's another thing. We still are growing as a company, and we have franchises franchises as part of the strategy to keep growing and keep going to the parts of Guatemala where we're still not there yet, right? And so that's like how we started. It was because of the people asking, like, if they could have a restaurant. They didn't even ask for a franchise. They just said, like, can we have rights to use your brand? Can we have some sort of partnership to grow? And that's why we started working on a franchise as an option. It was still it was very new when we started. It was actually, we were also founders of the Guatemalan Franchise Association, and it hasn't been around for more than 20 years, right? So it's all still very new. Actually, the franchise concept is still, we still work from the association to educate people and give out information about healthy franchises and how to have a good franchise company.
And how many units do you have now?
So up to date, we have 40 franchises, but we still, like I said, we still have our own, corporate restaurants. And in 2025, we will reach the 100. So that would be a big milestone for our company. Before the pandemic, we were also reaching also that number, but we had to close up a lot of our units, also the franchisees, and we had to step back a little bit, and it's until now in 2024 that we are still like recuperating, but we're still coming back to the path where we were like 4 years ago.
And what do you think? What is the secret of your success in Guatemala?
Well, I think one of the most important things is that we have kept the same vision from the founder. Like I said, good quality of ingredients and product, good portions, very affordable, and so people, they appreciate that they see the value of that, but it has been the same concept and easy to take. We still have our concept to go. On a window, people still like going for work, for school, on the way home, and on the bus they can take their pizzas and share it with their friends and family. So it has been, first of all, the first vision. The same values, the same family values in the company and in our family. We call it a big Macarone family. And it also, it has been faithful to that same vision, to get and now, what's the secret to be alive after so many years? I would say to know your customer, to listen to your customer, and it's a big. It's not easy because we have to be compared and shoulder to shoulder with the big companies, big franchises, international brands, and they have other big standards. So we have been trying to reach and be at that also big high standard in quality and service, in technology and everything that you have to have to be a company that is a good company today and a successful company today.
As we know, in franchising is very important, the innovation.
Yes.
Can you tell me?
Yes,
something?
and that was one of the other things I would definitely add up to that list, which is innovation. Innovation in everything, in service and products. We have to be always thinking of new things and new ideas, and in everything, and not only what pizza, what product, but like where people come, where people sit, and technology and social media. Always be innovating. It's very definitely a big part of the success.
And you mentioned that you are the second generation
Yes.
in this company. Can you tell me about the challenge
Yes.
of changing generation in a
Yes.
franchise system?
Yes, it's definitely challenging. Like I said, I grew up with the love and the vision for the company. That's why I wanted to get involved since I was very young. And my other family members have been growing up with the same vision. And maybe not everybody would want to be inside the company, but we all care and love the company, love the brand. We all want to contribute to the growth and to make it last for a lot of years, for many years. And it has been challenging, and we still have not made like a official transition, but we are preparing all that way. And it's a challenge because whatever we do now would be like the key for the next generations to come. So it's very important that you set the rules and you set everything straight for how to manage a company. I want to say the word govern, because it is with healthy principles, with everything written down and on paper, and what are the rules, and family protocols are very important to make a family company to go on. That's definitely very important.
And what were the biggest challenges or difficulties in the company's history?
Well, I think the biggest difficulty and challenge was when the founder died very early, like 8 years since the foundation, and my dad died suddenly. It was a sudden death, and obviously nobody expected that. And the company, I always say that the company could have just like stopped there and that would have been it. But the people, the team, the family members, but also the team that he had since the beginning, they all took over. They all decided to continue with his vision, with the same love and principles and values that he started the company with. And that was how they was able to overcome that. Maybe that has been the biggest challenge. And in history of the company, when I always say we were kings in our castle, in our market, and a lot of the big brands started like lowering their prices, and maybe competition was more direct because of that. So when you don't have to compete, when you can't compete with prices anymore, you have to invest a lot so your company, your brand, and your product has value. Because it's not only because it's something cheaper or not, but because it has value and because people love your brand. We always say that Macarone is a love brand. It's a Guatemalan, 100% Guatemalan brand, but it has a little bit of Italy in the beginning. It has, like I said, we come from Polish and Italian background, so our roots are there, our traditions are there, and that's one of the most important things also.
I saw that you have many competitors here
Yes.
in Guatemala. I saw Little Caesars, Domino's, Papa John's, Pizza Hut. So I think it's a big task how to compete with them and how.
Yes.
And what do you try to emphasize in your concept when you convince people to come to your restaurant?
Well, first of all, you have to invest a lot in your team. You know, the people that are in the restaurants. You know, always have them happy and ready and with the best service possible, to be the best host and make them feel at home. That's also like from our tradition, a family tradition, you know, to make people feel at home, to make them feel happy, to eat well, to get well fed and ready to go, you know, to their any work or family activities. That's very important, to invest in your human capital, you know, your human talent. And also to work in service. And like I said, it's not only one thing. It's a lot of, you know, the pieces that you have to have together. Like I said, a good product and a good price, but also what's the value of it. You know, it's the brand, is the love that people have for the brand, for our taste is different from everything else, because it's original. It's the original recipe that we have been using since for more than 46 years. So that's very important. And like I said, if you have to be, you know, to make it different, to people know that a lot of these products come from, you know, we call it like in cans, you know, or prepared, or we have it all freshly made from our center, and then we distribute to all of the franchises and corporate restaurants.
How many times do you transport the products to your franchisees?
It depends, because some of them are farther away, and some of them are closer to the city, and depends also of the storage they can have. Sometimes they have very small units and they don't have space to store, and so it depends. But every day since very early, we're producing our best, you know, fresh products, and also ice cream and bakery and everything. And we're taking them to all of the country. And we still have a lot of areas in the country that we still want to be there. You know, we still have areas that we want to conquer, so to say. So we still have a lot of area of opportunity to grow inside the country, and we have been thinking of going international. But first of all, our goal is to be, you know, set up in, at least we call it departments, like in different areas of the country, to be at least in each of the departments. And Al Macarone is a brand that can be, you know, you can have 5 units in a small area, and to, you know, like a coffee shop, you can have 10 in a block, you know, a small area. So that's our vision. Before going international, we still want to get very well established and to be covering the whole country.
What is the average size of a unit?
We have very small kiosks, and we are in food courts, and we also have free stands. And since a few years ago, we have our auto pizza service, so we can have you can go out your drive-through and get your pizza also. So it depends. We have very small units, very big units. We have some universities. So that's a very important thing to know, to adapt to every situation, to every group of, you know, clients that you can have in different situations. And like I said, close to the beach or to a university or to a school, to be in different size and to have the best for the clients. You know? When we had thought of going international, the first thought was south of Mexico and Central America. We did have some visits before the pandemic to Mexico to find partners and to see the possibility. It definitely has a lot of potential. Actually, in my experience with the World Franchise Council and traveling around the world and talking about the brand, a lot of people like it. We had a group of people from Brazil, and a lot of them fell in love with the company and the concept, and thought about bringing Al Macarone to Brazil. And that's a little bit further away than I think the natural step or next step would be Central America or south of Mexico, because it is a very similar culture. But the difference is that we would have to invest and cultivate and grow, and how do you would just say, we have to grow the company, the name, because the difference is that people have known it here for a long time, and are part of the tradition, part of the culture, and it's very part of the roots. But so it would have to be like very well planned, with a very good strategy to go to another neighboring country, and I think it would have the good potential. People want good food, affordable, easy to take, easy to share, and it has made it is made by that like that. But we would have to invest so the people would get to know the history and the name of the brand and the concept of the brand.
It's a big task to build up a brand in another country.
Yes.
Do you work with multi-unit franchisees or with single units?
Multi-units. Yeah. We have a very important franchisee that has multiple units.
How many?
More than 10.
That's great.
Yeah. Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
And this is your expansion plan, that looking for multi-unit franchisees. You prefer multi-unit franchisees than single unit?
I think one of the challenges is where you have to draw the line and to say, this is where I want to stop, how many units you're gonna. A lot of things I think you understand and you learn with experience, because a lot of things we did not know or think about when we started franchising, but it definitely has been one of the subjects to say, how many units are we going to be able to give to a franchisee. And so far that was part of the things that we wanted to stop and analyze, and set the rules to continue to the next chapter or the next year, a few years.